Hello everyone. Am I audible?
No, sir.
Hello.
No, sir.
Hello, Kamraj. How are you?
Sir, your voice is low, very low.
Can you hear me now? Hello.
Your voice low only, sir.
Can you hear me now? Hello. Okay, so am I audible? Okay, so can you please confirm if anyone else is joining or shall we start?
Hello.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, sir. You are now audible, sir.
Okay. So is there anyone else is about to join or shall we start? Someone from team, can you please confirm?
Okay, sir. We start, sir. We are sitting. All we are assembled.
Okay. So I'm sharing my screen now.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So today we have this agenda that we are going to see this flow structure where we are going to discuss about these flow types and components. Okay. So what are basically the flow types and what are the components? All these things we are going to discuss about this. Okay. So now what are basically the flow types? So the flow type is basically the flow which is related to your Power Automate cloud. Okay. Because in Power Automate desktop, we do not have the flow, right? This flow is basically, I'm just talking about that is basically what? Which is basically the Power Automate cloud. Okay. So now here we have the cloud flow. One, we have the cloud flow. Then we have business process flow. And the third one, we have the desktop flow. So we have these three kind of flows over here. Okay. So we have these three kind of flow. So now in this, if I just talk about this cloud flow, so this cloud flow has the multiple categories. What are those multiple categories? That if you are running any of the flow which you want to run on the cloud, okay, which you want to run on the cloud. Cloud means there is basically the specific URL which I have shown to you, which is basically the make.powerautomate.com, right? Yesterday we have seen this. So here, this is basically the environment on which you want to run this flow. So this is basically the cloud flow. But under this cloud flow also, we have the multiple segregation of the flows. These are majorly the three one. One is the cloud flow, second is business process flow, and third is basically the desktop flows. So now in this cloud flow, if I talk about, so first one is basically the automated flows. What is the mean by this
Sir,
automated?
your voice is low, sir.
It's better now?
Now better, sir. Sometimes.
Okay. So basically, now here you can see it says automated flows. So
Okay.
automated flows is what? If I talk about this automated flows, so automated flows is basically, okay, so triggered by specific events, specific events,
Okay.
okay, like receiving emails or new file added into folder or new item is updated or inserted on SharePoint. This is one of the example. So it means whenever you are receiving any new emails and you want that automatically your flow should be executed. Okay. Or if you are creating any new folder and then you want to get it performed, then automatically when you add a new folder, your trigger should be executed. Or when you are inserting any of the new line item into the SharePoint, or you are modifying the any of the record. So in that case, if you want to run that flow, so which is basically the automated flow. Okay.
Sir,
It,
one doubt, sir.
tell me.
Sir, this is cloud flow. Okay, na, sir.
This is a part of the cloud flow.
Okay. Then
It
we have this is whichever system it will trigger, no? No.
huh, correct. So basically what happens in the cloud flow, for example, if I have just created a flow, okay, so I have just created this flow where I have used a one SharePoint list. And I said if any new item will be added or new item will be inserted or deleted or any kind of a modification will happen, then automatically my trigger will run. Okay. So in the trigger, whatever the activity you want to perform, you can perform it. So
Okay.
for an example, if I say when any new item is inserted or updated into the SharePoint, then automatically the email notification should be triggered to the sender that you have raised a new ticket like this.
Okay.
Okay. So in that case, automatically this will execute. Or the another example which I can share with you. For an example, suppose you receive the email from the vendor. Okay.
Okay.
But in the email, you just want to put a such kind of a condition that whatever the email you are receiving from the vendor or from your supplier or from your client, there there should be a attachment which is basically the PDF attachment or whatever the attachment is, and the size should not be more than the 10 MB. If you are receiving an email which is having the attachment size is more than the 10 MB, then you want to revert the email to the sender. Please share the attachment once again, which should have the less than the size as a 10 MB.
Okay.
Okay, so this kind of a flow will automatically will execute on the basis of your condition. Here, no manual intervention is required. You do not need to perform anything manually. If your condition, whatever the condition I have given, on the basis of condition, my trigger will execute.
Okay.
Clear? Second is basically the instant flow. Instant flow. So instant flow is what? If I talk about this instant flows, so instant flows is basically is started manually by clicking on a button. Okay, started manually by clicking on a button. It means where you want to run the bot, or you can say run the flow manually
Sir, now
whenever,
no, your voice is going low, sir.
whenever,
No.
okay, 1 second. So I said whenever, uh, okay, want to run the flow manually whenever you want to run as per your requirement.
It will run manually, sir.
Yes, it means, for example, I just created a one flow. Okay. And whenever I think that I just want to run this flow, then only it will run. Just like in the VB and macros, if you have seen, when you click on the button, then your process is going to execute. Correct? So in the similar way, basically we have this instant flow. Instant flow means if you want to run it instantly whenever is required to you. So when you will run it manually, then it will execute only. It means in this flow, the human intervention will require. Clear?
Okay.
Okay. And the third one is basically the scheduled flow. Scheduled flows is what? The
Time,
flow, the flow which you want to run on a specific time.
time basis.
Correct. A specific time basis on daily, weekly, or whatever frequency. Correct? This one. So if you want to execute any of the flow, if you want to schedule it, then in that case, you can use the scheduled flows. For an example, if you have to collect the data from everyone, okay? For an example, I'm just giving an example for this, which is a real scenario example I'm just giving to you, okay? So for an example, suppose there is an activity, which is basically the reporting activity. Which activity? Reporting activity. Okay. And you are the responsible for the reporting. And for this reporting, you have to collect the data from the 5 different teams. Team 1, Team 2, Team 3, Team 4, and Team 5. Okay. And each and every month, till the 6th of every month, you have to report this to the top management. So it means before the 6th, there should be the data in your email box or not.
The email
Correct?
box.
Correct. So what you have to do, for an example, if you have told to them that basically you have to send the data before 6 to me, it means till the 5, anyhow I must have the data for all the regions or for all the teams into my mailbox, so I can consolidate it and I can send the email on the 6th, correct, to the top management.
Okay.
So what you will do, you can create a scheduled reminder. Okay, you can create a reminder flow. So basically on daily basis, from day 1 to day 5, it means from the 1st of every month, 2nd of every month, 3rd of every month, 4th of every month, and 5th of every month, the email will be triggered to them that please provide the data for your respective span or for your respective region. Okay, this one.
Okay, sir.
So you do not need to send the email to manually to them, because it also might be na, that you are on the leave, you are not available on in any of these days. That also might be possible. Correct. So it's better you can create a such kind of a reminders, so automatically on that day the email will be triggered to them. Okay, so you can select any of the frequency and time on which, from which date to which
Sir,
date.
one doubt, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
So how to find that
Mhm.
specific email?
The specific email. So
Uh,
when you will just create this scheduled flow, okay, when we just create this scheduled flow, then it will ask me what kind of a action you want to add.
okay.
Okay, so where I will use the send email action. So
Okay.
in the send email action, I will enter the email ID of those people whom I want to trigger the email.
So
Okay.
I received many emails from him, na? Then how to find that particular report?
No, no, no. So what? No, no, no. What will happen? You have scheduled a reminder flow. Okay. They
Okay.
will receive the reminder that please share the file with me. Okay.
Oh,
Then they will send the file to you on the email, on the separate email
okay, okay.
or on the same email. Then you can get it.
Then
Correct. And
how I automatically combined and again I send to fifth.
see, for the combining the file or for the consolidation, you can create the macro or you can use the Power Query. That is a separate activity.
Okay.
Okay. But this scheduled flow, I am just discussing where you do not need to send the reminder email manually.
Oh, reminder email only. Okay.
Correct. Correct. So to get the data timely from all the teams, you can send the reminder email by using the scheduled flow. So you can set, okay, from day 1 to day 5, I just need to send the email. At 1 p.m., it should trigger the email. This one. Okay. So
Okay.
automatically the email will be triggered to them and they can take the necessary action on this. Okay. So,
Okay, bro.
so any of these things you can just perform this. Or for an example, if you want to revalidate, for an example, from the HR perspective, I just want to go through this one. For example, before go for the payroll processing, if you just want to keep a such kind of a reminder that before the 2 or the 3 days, everybody should check the proper attendance for the correct month. So if you want to put a such kind of a reminder email, so you can set the reminder email as well. So people will get the reminder and they can take the necessary action on this timely. Okay. So if you
Okay, bro.
want, if you want to create a such kind of a flow, so that will create with the help of this scheduled flow. Okay.
Okay, bro.
Now, the next one is basically the business process flow. So business process flow is what? If I talk
Sir,
about
one
this,
minute. One
Yeah,
minute.
so just one more doubt on this in automated flow. Now, I get mail, we get mails from different persons, right? So
right?
if I want to filter out, like say my superior, whom I'm reporting to, my reporting manager, what
Mhm,
emails I get, I want to, like this trigger. So can
mhm.
we do it like that? Is that possible?
Yes, yes. So basically, when you are creating any of the flow, okay, so there we can put the condition as well. It's for an example, I receive the emails from the multiple vendors, okay, but
Okay.
my activity is that I just want to see only the those vendors. For example, the vendor name is ABC at the rate test.com. Example. Okay. So I say whenever I receive the email from this person, abc at the rate test.com, then that I just need to get informed. Okay.
Ah,
So
yes.
these kind of a condition or any kind of a condition, I can just put it into the flow.
No, sir. If only you filtered email only, na.
Yes, we can filter
Other
out.
condition only that vendor only.
Hmm.
We can filter their subject wise. We can filter
Yes.
properly.
See, email ID wise,
Subject.
subject wise, email body wise also, you can filter out.
Okay.
Email body wise also. Okay. So there are a lot of the things and also on the basis of the attachment size as well. The
Okay.
example I have given you this one, that is a real scenario example I'm sharing with you.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
cloud flow is no need to system, na. It automatically.
Yes, this is for this one. This is basically automatically gets scheduled. Whatever the flow you are scheduling, so it is basically scheduling on your environment.
Okay.
Environment is basically the domain,
Okay.
right? So whenever any of the email will receive on that domain, so
Okay.
automatically your flow will execute.
Okay. No need to system.
No need the system. No. For example, if you have scheduled any of the flow, either your system is turned off. That doesn't matter. That
Okay.
doesn't matter because it is scheduled on the flow, na, on the cloud.
Okay.
And
System
cloud
is
is
off, na,
basic.
it will trigger automatically.
Cloud is basically what? Cloud is basically the server,
Okay.
and server will not off,
Okay.
right? This one. So this kind of a thing will happen. Okay. So this is basically completely now I'm just giving you the flow types about this one, but this is basically not the part of this Power Automate desktop. This is basically the concept of the Power Automate flow.
Okay.
Okay. And business process flow is what? Where you guide users through the step-by-step process. Okay. Guide users through a step-by-step process. Okay. This
Okay.
one for approvals or data collection like this. So in that case, you can use the business process flow. Business process flow means where you want to customize or you want to create a flow on the basis of your business requirement. Like for an example, suppose if there is a leave tracker. Okay,
Okay.
leave tracker. So in the leave tracker, if I talk from the business point of view, then what will happen? So first of all, my first flow will be what? Please submit your leave. Correct?
Yes.
Once this leave is submitted, then it will go to your manager.
Okay.
Correct? Once this will go to your manager, then your manager will look into this and manager can approve or manager can reject.
Okay.
Correct? This one. So this is basically the business process flow, na?
Yeah.
Or or the another example. For example, you submitted a one new request. Okay. Once this request is submitted, then it will go to the IT team person, the main member. Okay. Then this IT team person can assign to someone. Correct? Then
Hmm.
here the necessary action can be taken like this. Okay. And also
Okay.
you can consider as a loan approval process. You have to pass through the multiple stages or not into the loan approval. You
Okay.
have to fill the form, then form goes to the first person, then it goes for the next approval, then it goes for the review process, then it goes for the next one, and then it gets approved and finalized.
Okay.
Correct? So this kind of a thing, if you want to create as per your business requirement, so in that case, basically we use this business process flow.
Okay.
Okay, this one. And now, then we have the last one, which is basically the desktop flow. So the desktop flow is what? This is RPA tool to automate your manual process.
Okay.
Okay, this one. So this is basically the Power Automate desktop. It means where you are going to automate the process. The manual process which you are running as of now, if you want to automate that process, so in that case, you can use this. For an example, suppose if you are getting one Excel file, okay? I'm just writing the example for this because we have the main thing which we are going to see, that is a desktop flows. Okay. So if I just talk about this example, means there are 1000 records which are having 12 columns, and you have to enter all the data into the portal. Okay, this one, which is basically the web portal, right? This one. So now just think about it. For an example, if there are a 1000 entries you are getting, and there are a 12 column, it means for a one customer, there are a 12 fields which you have to fill into the web portal, correct? So now, if suppose for the one customer, if you are taking around the 1 minute for an example in the manual, so almost you are taking the 1000 minutes. Yes or no?
Yeah,
correct?
correct.
So which is highly time consuming, and also there can be the chances of the error as well, right? So in this case, what we can do is this process we can automate with the help of this desktop flow by using this RPA tool. It means we can read the data, we can open the web page, we can pass the entry. So on a click of a button, automatically it will perform all the things. It means it will enter all these thousands records into the respective portal without any manual intervention. Clear?
Okay, bro. Okay.
Okay, this one. So
Uh,
this is basically the concept of the desktop flows.
Sir, hello.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, tell me.
now that you have explained this flows, is it possible for you to show it practically in the Power Automate so that?
Yes, yes, we will just go for this desktop flows. We will see this practically all the things.
Oh, okay, okay, sir. Because
Okay.
then it will be easy to understand.
Yes, we will go for the practical as well, because until you will not see the practical, you will not understand, right?
Okay,
But
okay,
here I'm just giving you the glimpse, giving you this idea that how actually this flow works.
okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are basically the flow types which I have shown this to you.
Mm.
Okay. Now in the flow type, if I just talk about these components, okay, components. So what are the components? See, so basically we have a three kind of a components. One is the trigger. Second is the action. And the third is the connector. This one, we have a three components. Now, what is a trigger? See, if I talk about this trigger, so what is a trigger? The event, the event that starts the flow, such as new email or a form submission or schedule time, right? This one. So this is basically what? So this is basically the trigger. Trigger is what? It means if this thing happens, then immediately it should get trigger. Got the point? So I told you about this now. For an example, if I am receiving any of the email from the one of the supplier, then immediately I just need to send a notification email to them. Correct? Or any of the new request is getting submitted through the form on my SharePoint, then immediately the event should be triggered. Yes or no?
Yes.
Correct.
Mm.
So that is basically the trigger. Okay.
Okay.
But if I talk about the action, so action is what? Actions are basically the steps which you want to run.
Mm.
Got the point? So which is basically the steps, the flows perform based on the trigger, such as sending email, creating files, or uploading records, like this. These are basically the actions, correct? So in this case, basically these are the actions. But what are the connectors? This is the most important point. So it is a bridge between different application and services, allowing for seamless communication and data transfer. Communication and data transfer. See, connector is what? Connector is basically the bridge between your data source and services. Example. For an example, suppose if I say, I just want that whenever I just want to create a flow, okay? And in this flow, what I want, when any new email arrive into my mailbox, okay? Any email arrive into your mailbox, then the attachment of that email should be saved into where? Into the OneDrive. Correct? If I say I am receiving the email from the supplier in any of the mailbox or in my mailbox, then whatever is the attachment, I need to save that attachment into the OneDrive. Okay. So now here for the email, you will use the Outlook or not?
Yeah, Outlook, brother.
Correct. So this Outlook is basically what? There is a Outlook connector which is going to help you to connect with this flow. This is one. Second, you are using the OneDrive or not? So OneDrive is also a connector. So you are using the services of this Outlook services and you are using the OneDrive services or not?
Okay.
Correct. So in this case, this Outlook and this OneDrive is basically the connector.
Okay.
Okay. There can be the connector as a folder also. There can be the connector as a SharePoint also. Or there can be the connector as a MS Teams also. Right? This one. So this is basically nothing, but this is basically the part of the connectors. So now what we have seen, so we have simply discussed about the flow types and the components.
Okay.
Is this clear or anyone has any doubt?
No.
No, brother.
Okay, great. So this is we have covered, and this complete document I will upload into the drive and you will get it. Okay. Now, the second is the recorder versus manual action. So see, recorder is what? So if I talk about the recorder, so recorder and see this recorder and this manual actions are available into the Power Automate desktop. Okay. So recorder is what? It is
Sir, can you actually, whatever this flow types
uh,
and components that you have taught us,
uh,
can you just show, show the practical this thing and then move on to the next one? Can we?
okay.
Hmm?
Okay, so
Can you?
basically,
Huh.
see for this one, cloud flows automated, instant, and scheduled and business. These are basically the part of your cloud flow. Okay, which is basically the Power Automate cloud flow. Okay,
Okay.
but basically this session, our session is completely related to the desktop flows. Okay, but
Hmm.
here I'm going to tell you that how you can use that. Okay, if you
Okay.
go into this make.powerautomate.com and if you click on this create,
Hmm.
then you will see this automated cloud flow. And here you can see automated cloud flow means when your condition will match, automatically it will trigger without any human intervention.
Hmm.
Okay, if you click on this, for example, if I just clicked on this automated cloud flow, so now you can see it is asking me the flow name. So whatever the flow name you want to create, okay, whatever the flow name. And now can you see this trigger when a new response is submitted?
Hmm.
This one. So it is telling you whenever any new response is submitted with the help of this Microsoft form, then this email will be triggered, whatever the action you want to use. Right? So there are the multiple triggers. You can see related to the SharePoint, related to the OneDrive business. Correct? This
Hmm.
one. You can see related to the Google Calendar and so on. So if any of the thing will happen, so automatically it will get triggered.
Okay.
Okay, this one. So
Outlook. Outlook, sir.
see, this is the Outlook related. Look,
Okay.
okay, this one. Same instant cloud flow. Instant cloud flow.
Sir, one sample is so me, sir, Outlook flow.
See, this, as I said, this is basically the part of the Power Automate Cloud. This is basically this session. Our session is completely related to the Power Automate desktop.
Desktop flow.
But I'm just telling you this one because the desktop flow is also the type of a flow. So if somebody asks you, na, so you should aware from this. So that's why I'm just giving you all the glimpse of this. Okay, but all this flow, the practically, basically, we cover into the Power Automate Cloud because there are two things: Power Automate Desktop and Power Automate Cloud, and both has a different functionality, right? See, I can show you the one example which is already created over here. So let me show that to you. Okay, this one. So here I will tell you that what I have done. Okay, this
Yeah,
one.
sample only is shown.
Sample I'm showing. So this trigger I have created manually. This is a manual trigger, you can see. So it means manual trigger is basically whenever I want to run, then it will run only. Okay.
Okay.
So in this, what I am doing, I have a one Excel file with this name,
Okay.
billing data pending items.xlsx.
Okay.
Okay, which is placed on the OneDrive. So
Okay.
what I am doing, I am reading the data from there. Okay, and
Hmm.
there are a one column, which column name is a remarks column.
Okay.
Okay, under this remarks column, I have the information like I have received the payment, or the pending is a or the payment is a pending for the vendors, like this. So there are multiple remarks like completed, pending, in progress, like this. Okay, so what I have to do through this flow, I want to follow up with the suppliers or with the vendors. It means I want to send the email to those vendors for whom we have not received the payment, or the remarks is basically written as a pending in that file.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see I'm filtering the query. Can you see this? Look, filter query,
How
right?
do we add this button there, bro?
So from this action over here, this
Oh,
one.
action.
Okay, so now here I am filtering this out. Okay, so now see, it also might be na, that you have a 10 records for the pending, or 20 records for the pending, or 5 record, or 1 record, correct? So now for this one, I need to send the email to all those people who are having this pending remarks. So for this, I have put this loop concept. You can see apply to each, right?
Okay.
Now, if I just show into this, so here you will see the condition. Look, can you see the condition over here? Right? It has captured all the values, whatever the data is coming from this one for the pending customers, right? And now here you can see I am sending the email to them. Can you see I have used this connector, the Gmail connector, this one.
But here you used Gmail connector, not
Ah,
Outlook.
so see, in place of this Gmail, we can use the Outlook also.
Okay, Outlook, Gmail
Ah,
also you can use it.
Gmail also you can use, Outlook also you can use.
Okay.
Okay, then you can see in the two, I need to put the email ID from that Excel file. In the subject, I want to mention the subject like this. In the mail body, I need to mention like this: the name of the customer, and whatever the name of the customer, what is the product, what is the billed amount, what is the location. Okay, so in this format, it is going to trigger the email.
Okay.
So for
So
example,
no needs
yeah,
a system. It is automatically cloud triggering. Correct, brother?
see, this one I have created as a manual trigger flow, na? This
Okay.
one, this one. If I will go for the automated cloud flow, na, then
Hmm.
there is no manual intervention required.
Okay.
But this is something I have created as a manual trigger flow. So it will run only whenever I will run it. Whenever I want, then it will run it only.
Okay, okay, understood.
Okay, this one. So this kind of a thing we can get it. Okay, so
System
like this, there are a multiple things
में
through
है,
which you
Gmail
can
आता
create the flow.
है, Outlook में system है.
Okay, this one. So there are a lot of the things where you can create this one. Okay.
Sir, this is a what kind of application only available, sir? Cloud connectors.
Sorry, this is
Cloud connectors, you tell me na Gmail, Outlook.
So all these things, na, basically we see into the Power Automate Cloud. As I said, na, there are two things: Power Automate Desktop, which is the RPA, and Power Automate Cloud. So these things which I have shown this to you, this is related to the cloud.
Okay.
Okay, but we are going to see the Power Automate Desktop, which is a desktop flow.
Okay, sir.
This one. But I given you this idea because sometimes the people ask into the interview as well, how many types of the flows do we have? Okay, so you should be
This curriculum only desktop flow only, no?
correct. In the curriculum, we have only this desktop flows. This one.
So finally, you told me cloud flow also we can start that. Like you told.
See, I have given you the flavor of this cloud flow,
Okay.
right? Because it is also desktop flow is what? It is also the part of the flow, na?
Okay.
So, and we have also automated cloud flow instant. So if somebody asks you that how many types of the flows do we have? So you can tell to them, we have automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, scheduled cloud flow, desktop flow, process mining or the business process flow, right? And then you can tell the difference to them.
Okay.
So that's why I have given you all the idea, but our majorly focus and the course curriculum is completely related to this desktop flow.
Okay.
Okay, this one. So now here we have this recorder versus manual actions. So recorder is what? It is basically help you to record the step by step activity. Okay, and convert into actions. This one. And manual actions are what? Manual actions which are created, or you can say in the flow of actions which are used and which are used by the user or by the developer. For example, if I know that whatever the actions is required to me, like in this example, this one, I know that I have to read the data. It means the Excel connector is required. The web connector is required. Correct? So I know very well into this one. But if you want to record any kind of activity, then there is also the recorder. Like in the VBA, if you are aware from, so you have heard a term that is a macros, correct? So through the macros, what you do? Basically, whatever the activity you want to automate, you try to record all the steps in the terms of the code, correct? To reutilize that. So the same thing, basically, the recorder is going to help you here. Okay, so if I go into this Power Automate desktop, and now here I'm just creating a new flow. I clicked on the flow and I say date to 13th June, this one, and I click on OK. So now here, if I just want to record any kind of activity, then here you will be able to see the recorder. So let it populate. So we have already discussed about this yesterday, right? In the left hand side, you will see the actions, correct? This mid section is basically the canvas area, correct? Or
Okay.
workflow window, right?
Then
This
this
one.
is
So
very.
now, so here, if you see on the top, this is basically the recorder, this point,
Okay.
okay? This one. If you click on this, now the recorder is started, okay? Now, whatever I just need to perform, can you see here the recorder? This one.
Yeah,
So
bro.
now it is saying, okay, click on the start recording and whatever you will perform, it will perform that. Okay, so if
Okay.
I click on this record, now it is working on this. So if I'm clicking here, see, it is capturing. Can you see? It captured this one.
Okay. Okay.
And now, for example, if my task is done, I recorded this step, then I can click on the done. And once I click on the done, so now can you see those steps are added automatically? This
Okay.
one, correct? And now Here you can see if I just click here to run this flow. So whatever the things I have done in the recording, all those actions are going to get executed. See, I have clicked here now, like this cursor is moving. If you see, correct? This
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
See,
brother.
right? Like for an example, I'm here and now I'm running this flow again. So whatever the steps I have recorded, so all the steps it is going to perform it. See, cursor is moving now. Can you see
Yeah, brother.
this one? Correct. So this one, if for an example, if I type anything into this notepad also, na, then that activity is going to type it also. Okay, so any of the things which you want to record automatically in the terms of the action, so in that case you can use that one, and those actions will reflect it over here. And where you can see this one in the left hand side, you will see the line numbers, the action number. You can say this is your first action, this is your second action, third action, and the fourth action. Okay, but if you observe carefully, in the first action, if I talk about, so what is written? Is start of automating actions using the recorder. Correct? In
Yeah,
the
brother.
last, it is written as the end of auto-generated action using the recorder.
Okay.
Correct? So the first one and this last one, these are basically nothing but known as a comments. Known as a comments, and comments never execute. Comments are basically the part which gives you the insights of your flow. It means it is telling you from the first step, it is a start point, and this last is basically the end point of this one. And between these, line number 2 and 3, these are basically your actual actions. These are your actual actions which are impacting, which are running. The first one and the last one is basically as a comments for the user understanding. Got the point?
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
brother.
yes, sir.
So whenever we run the flow, so always the good practice is that when you run the flow, na, then please give the proper comments there. So whenever in the future, if you review your flow or if any change requirement gets occur in the future, so immediately you can understand very easily, okay, these are the actions related to this, these are the actions related to this. Okay, which is going to help you to understand the flow very easily. So that's why the comment is very highly required. Although you will not give the comment, your flow will run, that is fine. But as a developer, the good practice is that you should give the proper comments there. Is this clear?
Clear,
Yes,
brother.
yes.
Next.
Okay, so this is basically the concept of this recording. But if I want to go with the manual actions is what? The actions which I want to run it manually. I want to drag the actions into this workflow window, right? So what I will do, see, for example, I do not require this, so I can delete this. I can select all this and simply press the delete button. Okay. Now, if I want to drag the actions from my end, the manual actions, for example, I want to launch a website which is basically the google.com, right? So that action I want to perform it manually. So I will simply go into this browser and I'm just using this launch a new Chrome browser. And here it is asking me the URL. You can see this one. And I'm just putting www.google.com. It is asking you want to open the window into the normal stage or maximize or the minimize. Okay. If you just go for this normal, let me show this to you. If I just run this, so in the normal, it will not open on the complete page. It will open into the mid of the page. So let me show this to you like this. Can you see this one?
Okay.
This is the normal mode. Okay. If I just want to go for the maximize mode, this one. So maximize mode is what? It will automatically launch it and it will open into your whole screen or entire screen it will cover. Now you can see. Cover,
Okay.
right? So you can see automatically it launched the Google or not.
Yeah.
Correct? This one. So whatever the website, so this is something the actions I have given it manually. So whatever the URL you want to launch it, that URL we can give it, right? So the actions which I want to create as per my own requirement, then that actions are basically known as the manual actions.
So the
Is it?
launch field, it is showing desktop wide.
Sorry?
You can edit that launch Chrome, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the launch new Chrome.
you can edit, brother, that flow.
Huh, I can edit. I can simply double click on this. This launch new Chrome, na? I can double click on this. It will open the same window, and here I can edit anything.
Other than field, what, brother? Other than.
Okay, so this is a window state. The target is basically my local computer. It means in the same system it should be, right?
Okay.
Here it says if there is any cache or there is any cookies, if you want to clear it automatically, because sometimes it happens that if there is any cookies, right, or there is any cache, if you want to clear automatically, you can turn on this toggle button.
Okay.
Okay. Wait for page to load is basically, for an example, it might be that depend on your internet connectivity. The same page it might be is opening in the 2 second, but for some people it also might it can take the 10 seconds also, right?
Okay.
So it says wait for page to load. It means if you are performing any next action which is related to this, for example, if I say you have to open the page, and after opening the page, what you have to do? You have to enter the username and password.
Okay.
Okay. So now just tell me, once your page will be loaded successfully, once it will be load successfully, then only you will be able to see the username and the password and sign in window or not.
Okay. That's why
Yes
we
or
are
no?
waiting for loading time.
Correct. So wait for load. It means after this, the next section will be what? To enter the credentials. Correct. So it means to go into this enter the credentials once my page is loaded successfully from the first step.
Okay, bro.
So once the page is loaded properly, then please move to the next step where you have to enter the username, password, and click on the sign in button.
Pop-up window, the other than other.
So here, this one, the timeout, it means the maximum it will wait for the 60 second.
Okay.
Maximum. If for an example, if within the 60 seconds, if your window is not loading, okay, window is not loaded properly, it might be there can be any error into your web page or into your internet connectivity. Correct. So after the within the 60 seconds, if your page is not loaded successfully, then it will throw the error to you. It will not move into the next section. It will throw the error to you. Okay. So this is
Okay.
a maximum time frame it is given. It says if any of the pop-up dialog box appear, because sometimes it happens now when you load any of the page, then sudden the one pop-up comes on your screen where you have to click on the cross. Correct. Have you seen this kind of a thing?
Ah,
Right. So it is, so this is basically related if you want to handle any of the pop-up dialog box appears. Okay. So in this
That is
we have,
drop down is showing.
I'm coming on that.
Do
So
nothing. The drop
see,
down.
do nothing. It means if you do not want to take any action on the pop-up dialog box appear, click on do not nothing. Okay, do nothing. If you want
Oh,
to close it, you can use close it. If you want to press a button, if there is any button into your pop-up dialog box which is appearing, and if there is any button, if you want to press on that button, you can use the press button.
okay.
Okay. And what kind of a button? Which is a OK button or whatever the button is, you can give the name of the button as well.
Then another timeout also is there.
Which one? This one?
Ah,
This timeout is basically related to this button only.
oh, pop-up
Okay.
button.
Pop-up button only.
Okay.
Okay, this one. And this variable. So this variable is what? It is taking the default name as a browser. Okay.
Okay.
So basically what happens whenever you are performing any of the actions, then it will hold the value into the variable. So variable is basically what? Variable is basically a container. Okay. Variable is basically a container where the things are going to store or going to hold, and from there you can pull the data into the next action. Example. For example, I have a one variable I have taken, and in the one variable I have taken the username. Okay. In the
Okay.
second variable, I have taken the password. So now if I want to use this username and password in my actions or in my flow in any of the place, so instead of writing the complete username and password, I can use the name of those variables.
But here only one variable, na, sir.
There are two variables. See, the one, this one you are talking about?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, because it is telling you what it is telling you. It is saying that browser is what? Because the first thing which you have executed, this is what? Opening the new Chrome. So
Okay.
it is telling you that Chrome application related this variable is created. It means if you want to move further in any of the actions which are related to the new Chrome, na, then you
Okay.
have to use this browser. This
Okay.
one.
The browser action variable only that one.
Yes, browser. So if for an example, if you
That
use,
variable, what is the value is there, sir? The browser.
if you see, this is a browser instance,
Okay.
right? So it is capturing all these required information to this. For example, if you want to close this browser, right?
Okay.
Or if you want to perform anything onto this browser, so you can see close the web browser. If I drag this close the web browser, can you see it is taking the same variable or not? Browser,
Okay.
this one,
Same variable it will take.
same variable it will take,
Okay.
right? This one. So basically, see the this basically help you when we just go for the instances.
Okay.
Okay, instances.
That is
Instances is what?
instances variable, correct, bro?
Instances variable. Basically, for example, suppose you are working on the two file. Okay, one is the PL file and second is a recon file. Okay,
Okay.
there are two files. Now, if I say I want to work something on the PL file, then I want to work something on the recon file. So how you will bifurcate into your flow? How your flow will understand that, okay, this is something you want to write into this PL file, or this is something you want to write into this recon file.
Okay.
So there is a instance variable which is going to bifurcate these files. Okay, so for this PL, for example, there is a Excel instance one, suppose name I given. Okay, for this I given as a Excel instance 2. Okay, so it means where I will use this Excel instance 1, it means I need to perform the things into this pl.xlsx.
Okay, bro.
Where I will use the Excel instance 2, it means I need to perform the things on the recon.xlsx file. Okay, so
Okay.
these instance variable basically help you to bifurcate the things between those applications into your flow or into your actions.
Okay, bro.
Okay, this one. So now this is the manual actions and recorded. See, now we were talking about this variables and data types. Okay, so variables and data types are what? If I talk about the variables, see. So variables, basically, it is a container container where you can store the value and use that value into your actions on any point. Okay, this one. So variables are what? For an example, you have seen generally we take na like x equals to 2, y equals to 4, right? And if I just go with this x plus y, so what will be my output? My output will be the 6 or not? Tell me.
Correct, brother.
Correct. But now if I say, okay, now this the value of this x, I just need to change. So I change from this 2 to 8. So now when you will run this, will you get the 6 over here? No. What the output will be? It will be the 12 now. Correct? So instead of changing into the multiple places, I will change the value in a one place only. Like for example, suppose you are doing x minus y. You are doing x into y. You are doing x divided by y. Now, if I change the value of the x or y, so instead of changing on all these four places, only you are changing into your main variable or not? Here, correct? This one. So this is basically the concept of the variable. It means whatever the value you want to store, use a variable, store into a variable, and where that value is required, please call that variable. So if in future, if anything gets changed, so only in that variable value you have to change, and in your actions on all those places, automatically your value will get updated. Got the point?
Yeah, got brother.
Okay.
Data types, brother.
I'm coming on data types. So data types is what? If I just talk about the data types. Data types. So data types is basically whatever the value you store into variables will contain the data type like numeric data type. It can be string data type. It can be the date data type, right? This one. Yes or no? Example. For example, if I'm saying x equals to 2. So in this x variable, the value which you have hold, this value is a numeric value or not?
Yeah, numeric, brother.
So the data type of this x will be the numeric data type.
So
Whatever
numeric,
the
brother,
uh,
numeric only, na, decimal also it coming.
yes, decimal is also the part of the numeric, na?
Okay.
If you bifurcate the numeric, it means you are asking about the whole number and decimal,
Okay.
right? So if I say x equals to 2, it means the value of x is what? 2. 2 is what? Number. It means the data type of this x variable will be the numeric data type. Okay. If I say y is equals to, I say Power Automate Desktop, PAD. So this PAD is the text or this PAD is a number?
Text, brother. String variable.
Is string variable. So the variable y will have the data type as a string data type or the text data type. Correct? So whatever the value you are going to store into that variable, automatically it will detect the data type for that particular variable. Clear?
Okay, brother.
Okay, this one. And we will see this concept because if you see in Power Automate, we have the variable concept. See this one
How to
where
create?
we set the variables. Okay, if you drag this variable, see here, if I will write the 2, then this is a new variable. I can rename it. For example, if I'm writing val1 example, this one. So if in the val1, which value you are storing? 2,
Two.
right? See
Yeah.
this one. another variable I'm dragging, and I say this is val2. And in val2, I'm writing here power automate desktop. Okay.
Date variable will show with date.
For the date, we will use the date.
The text field only.
So when I'm just running this, okay, I'm just making this Chrome as a disable. Now, if I just run this to show this to you, when it will run these two steps, line number 2 and line number 3, okay, it is running now. So once it will execute it successfully, then you will see in the val1, it will reflect the value as the 2, and in the val2, it is going to reflect as a Power Automate desktop. Can you see this? Right?
Yeah,
If I open this val1, now here, see, what is the data type over here?
numeric.
Numeric one. Correct? It is showing the numeric one,
Mm.
right? Now, if I just open the other one, val2, in the val2, what is the data type now?
Text.
Text data type. Correct? So in Power Automate Desktop, while creating the variable, we do not need to define whether this is a date data type, this is a string data type. No, whatever the value you will enter into this, according to that, it will take the data type. Okay. For an example, if I take any other data, any other variable here, and I say this is val3, and here I'm just writing something decimal 2.53. And now, if you will run this flow, see, in this val3, if I talk about, what is that? See,
Yeah, numeric.
I was telling you now,
This is
all the numeric values where that is a decimal values or that is a whole number, everything will be the part of your numeric values itself. Okay?
Here no list variable is not available.
No, list of variable is not here. It says whatever the value you will enter, because see, every value will have only these data types, either
Manual
numeric,
only.
or the text or the date. That's it.
Okay.
Correct? So this is basically the concept of this one, variables and the data type. Okay. This error handling, basic and documentation, these two parts. Okay. From tomorrow, we are going to start the complete practical sessions. Okay. Error handling is what? Error handling is basically, it is also known as exception handling. Okay. Because see, what happens, sometimes it happens when you run any of the flow. Okay. And I say, if in my current flow or in my current action, if any kind of a error is generating, then it should jump to the next step. It should not throw any kind of a error. Got the point? So what I will do, see, when you drag any of the action over here, like for example, I launch this Chrome. If I double click on this, can you see this on error here? This one.
Yeah, brother.
So in every action, you will see this on error over here. So this on error is basically going to help you in the exception handling or into the error handling. Okay. So now if I just click on this on error, so now here you can see it says, okay, if there is any error into this action, you want to continue flow, you want to continue the flow, or you want to throw the error, or you want to stop the flow. Correct?
Okay.
So default it is stop the flow. But if I say no, if there is any error into this action, so do one thing, continue the flow. Don't stop that. So I can click on this continue flow run. Correct? Once you select this continue flow run, then here it will ask you, okay, from which step I need to continue? I need to continue from the next step, or I want to repeat this step, or I want to run from any of the specific steps.
Okay.
Okay. So from this, we can perform the exception handling from this. And we will see this one practically. Okay. But here I'm just telling this to you that from this, default it will be in the throw error. But if we want to execute the flow continuously, if we want to keep this momentum, then into this case, we can go with this continue flow run mode. Okay. So from here, in every actions, not only this, for an example, if I go with this launch Excel, if I drag this, so here also see, can you see this on error? Right? If I click on this, you are getting the same or not? Correct? This. If I drag the read Excel file, this one, you are getting this on error. Same thing. Correct? In any of this, for example, if related to any file, if I drag this action, see, into this, it is asking for the file. This is file related. Okay? If condition related. Here you are getting this on error or not? Correct? This one. So for this exception handling or for this error handling, in the action itself, you will see this on error. Okay, so from this point, we are going to handle the exceptions, which is nothing, but we are going to handle the error itself. So error is basically what? Because see, sometime it happens that the basically what happens that the flow which you are running, okay, if any of the values, for example, if you have created the 5 sequence, okay, I want to run this flow, then I want to run this, then I want to run this, then I want to run this. Now, for example, if in your second step gets changed anything, but I want, okay, if in the second step it got changed, na, so do one thing, the flow should execute perfectly. The first should run, third should run, and the fourth should run. Yes or no?
Yeah, bro.
Correct. This one. So in this, what I will do, I want to continue my flow. Step 1 should run. If it find in the step 2 as an error, so automatically it should jump to step 3, run the step 3, then jump to step 4, run the step 4. It will skip this one. If you will not use this exception handling or error handling, after execution of your first step, if there is any error into your second action, it will stop here only. Your step 3 and step 4 will not execute. It will not move further. Where the error will occur, it will stop your flow into that point only. It will not move further. Okay, this one. So in this case, the exception handling or this error handling is one of the most important thing. Okay. Now, the next one is basically the comments and the documentation in the flows. Okay. So see, the comments is basically what? In the comments and documentation, if I talk about, so for the comments, as I said, that when you are running any of the flow, so in the flow, whatever the actions are involved, na, if those things you are mentioning into the comments, so that will be the suitable for you to see the description in the future to get the idea of this. For example, if I go into my flow and I say my first is related to open the browser. Second, third, and fourth step are related to variable and data type. Correct? So here, if I search for the comments, I just clicked on this action and I'm writing the comments. So now, can you see the comment, the flow control comment?
Yeah.
If I drag this comment here, so it will ask, okay, what do you want to mention? I say, here, I am opening the Google page. Okay, like this. So can you see this comment? This one,
Yeah, bro.
right? And here, if I drag it here and I say below actions used for variables and data type concept. And now if I click on OK, so can you see this one? Look, correct? So line number 1 and line number 3 is basically what? These are basically the comments. These are not actions. Actions is basically which are going to impact your activity, which are basically the part of your activity. This is not my part of activity, na? This is something I mentioned for the reference. So in the future, if I see this one, so it is going to help me. Okay, this step is related to this browser related. Okay, and below steps are basically related to the variable and data type concepts. Yes or no?
Okay, bro.
Correct.
Yes.
This one. So this is a good practice. Whenever you just automate any of the process, keep this habit. Whenever you use this one, use this comment properly. So it is basically considered as a very good thing for any of the developer. Okay. And the documentation. Document sorry. Documentation is what? The documentation is basically when you are going to create any kind of a flow. It means you are going to automate any of the process, na? Then please make sure to prepare a proper document of this. What kind of a document? Like the PDD, process design document. Then SDD, solution design document. There are two documents in the RPA which are basically most important in RPA. Make sure, remember this point. Okay, in the documentation, which is basically what? PDD document, which is basically what? Process design document. Second is what? SGD, which is solution design document. These two documents are very important for any of the developer in the RPA. I'm not talking about especially for this Power Automate desktop. This is for all the RPA things I'm telling you. For all the automation developers. In the process design document, what are the things will come? The things will come, the name of the process, how that process is running manually, what are the steps they are running manually along with the screenshots and everything, the more detail about that process. Okay. In the solution design document, what will come? The solution which you are providing to the user. Got the point? In the process design document, user will help you to create this one. Okay, these are the steps along with the screenshot, the name of the process, this process frequency, we run it daily, weekly or monthly. This process in manual intervention, for example, it takes the 5 hours and so on and so forth. Correct? We pull the data from here and this is something we perform it. In the solution design document, this is basically developer is going to prepare, right? So in this, basically you will create this document where you will provide the solution design to them. Okay, this is your manual activity which you have defined it. We are going to automate this process with the help of this tool, and these all these parts we are going to automate this one, and all your manual interventions will cut down. Clear? This one.
Mm.
So
Okay.
these two documents are very important. Okay. So the comments and this documentation. Any doubt, any query till here?
Mhm.
Okay. So for this day 2, we have covered all these things. Okay. This one. Now from tomorrow, we will just go for this practical sessions over there. Okay. We will use the actions, we will perform the things and everything. Now, all the sessions which we have the upcoming sessions, all the sessions we are going to see the practical things only. Okay.
Tomorrow is file handling, bro.
Sorry.
Tomorrow file system operation.
Yes, tomorrow we will see all this. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bro.
I will save this this notepad document into the same folder, so you will get it as well.
Sir, any sample document you have, brother? Last PDD, SDD.
Yes, for the PDD and for the SDD, DD, I will share that document as well. I will
Any
upload that.
sample is there,
Yes,
no?
yes, yes, sample I will upload that.
Okay, bro.
Okay, in the same drive. Okay, so anyone has any doubt or any query before we wrap up the session for the today? No?
Okay.
Brother, we want a cloud function, na? How it will, brother?
So cloud is completely related to, that is a different course, as I said, na. That is basically the Power Automate Cloud. Basically, this session which
So
we are,
that class, how many days that class the cloud?
yes, for the cloud, basically that will be for the 13 to 15 hours.
How many days, brother?
That is the basically from the 1.5 hours you can consider it. That is basically the 15 hours course I told you.
For 15 hours, brother.
Yes.
So
Okay.
that will cover all email automation, correct, brother?
In that one, that will be whatever I have shown this to you, na, the examples, right?
Okay,
The
brother.
automated cloud flow schedule. So there all the things will cover.
This curriculum completed, na, we can start that curriculum also, brother. Possible.
Yes. Once this Power Automate desktop will complete it, then after you can decide it. And if you guys just want to go ahead with Power Automate Cloud as well, then we can start that.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, brother.
sure.
We can
Okay, so tomorrow we
we
will.
can share
Uh-huh.
more time. Na, it is also close the time. Days also it is possible, brother. We can have time more time now. Hello,
Yeah, tell me.
sir. We can have more time now. 3 hours now. It is possible to close tomorrow. It is
Uh,
possible.
Tomorrow you want some more time, right? Okay, so we will see on the weekends. Okay, if we can spend a little bit more time now. So
Yeah,
we will see.
Saturday it is more time, brother. That's why
Huh.
we are.
See, not the complete 3 hours. I will not go
That's why
for
we are
this one.
asking.
But
Yes.
but we will just go for the 1.5 is a fix. Okay. If we will have the more time, so we will just extend this to the 2 hours if that is fine. I don't have
Okay.
any concern. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure.
Thank you,
Thank
bro.
you. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, sir.